MACC Chief Azam Baki was asked for his thoughts on those who had supposedly attempted to destabilize the MACC by issuing criticisms, holding protests, and filing police reports. Stay tuned for his response. Meanwhile, a PKR student wing leader has denied claims that the wing had lost confidence in Anwar. All this and more on KiniNews. Outgoing MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki stated that those who criticize, file police reports, or hold protests against the anti-graft agency are individuals who have problems. In a podcast uploaded today, Azam, whose contract is due to expire tomorrow, said that they are plagued by problems of their own, whether in the form of emotional issues or legal matters. He stressed that since such critics are typically dealing with their own problems, most of which are related to issues being probed by the MACC, they are merely seeking to influence public perception against the existing enforcement systems.
Jadi seolah-olah dia nak membawa masyarakat kepada jangan percaya kepada sistem yang ada. Jadi kalau tuan-tuan masyarakat semua nak percaya kepada mereka ni, silakanlah. Saya kekal remain di sini, pegawai saya kekal betul steadfast dalam menjalankan tugas kita. Pedulikan, saya dan siapkan pegawai saya, pedulikan semua tomahan yang liar ni. Ialah kalau berimpun saya ingat kok 30,000, adalah 30 orang. Yang ramai tu pemberita, polis dan sebagainya. Jadi pada saya traction pun tak ramai. Itu nasihat saya pada pegawai. Jadi mereka ni semua ada masalah tersendiri, terpulanglah tuan-tuan nak menilai masalah mereka. Mungkin mereka ni tak cukup makan ubat agaknya, dia tak cukup makan ubat agaknya, hari itu lupa makan ubat, dia pun depres tersendiri.
He said this when asked for his views on those allegedly attempting to destabilize the MACC through criticism, protests, and police reports. Meanwhile, in response to a question on his plans following the end of his tenure with the MACC, Azam affirmed that he will not be joining politics or venturing into the business world. Azam added that if he feels the need to speak up on matters related to the MACC, he will do so by providing proper views or constructive opinions for the consideration of not just MACC personnel, but also the general public. Mahasiswa Keadilan Malaysia (MKM) Secretary General Akif Saleh has issued a denial of claims that the PKR student wing has lost confidence in the party under the leadership of Anwar Ibrahim. The denial came about an hour after the wing posted a statement on Facebook expressing a loss of confidence in Anwar. Writing on his personal page, Akif maintained that the earlier media statement did not represent the wing's official stance. According to him, this statement was never discussed, agreed upon, or decided through MKM's official channels, but was instead the action of a few individuals within the central leadership, pursuing their own agenda and exploiting the MKM platform to create confusion and negative perceptions of the organization. He also pointed out that the statement did not include the names or positions of those responsible for issuing it, describing it as unprofessional, irresponsible, and made with ill intent. Akif further argued that any party truly confident in its own position should come forward openly, rather than hiding behind the name of a student organization. He stressed that MKM has always upheld organizational discipline, ethical conduct in its struggle and mature democratic processes, adding that personal views cannot be imposed as the wing's official position without a proper mandate and collective agreement. The earlier statement expressing a loss of confidence in Anwar claimed that, after assessing the party's direction, MKM believed PKR had drifted away from its original reformist spirit. It also urged youth members within PKR, particularly students, to reassess their position. PKR established MKM in 2012 to represent the voices of students in public and private universities. From now on, you can also listen to KiniNews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scan the QR code on the screen to follow us. PKR Vice President R. Ramanan has downplayed his own party's internal analysis that marked Sungai Buloh as a red zone. The Sungai Buloh MP reportedly dismissed the analysis as inaccurate, saying its sample size was inadequate to represent the constituency's 180,000 voters. According to the Malaysia Gazette, Ramanan said only between 100 and 200 voters were engaged for the survey, while the status of the rest of the respondents could not be ascertained. He added that everybody has their own view and analysis, and if they look at a previous analysis, no one thought they could win and become the government. He stressed that it was just 100 or 200 people, while the rest were merely wild guesses. So he is not taking it seriously and will just do his job to the best of his ability. Ramanan said this during an event held 2 days ago in Kota Damansara when he was asked to comment on the strategic analysis titled G16 Strategic Analysis Tier-Based Summary. The PKR strategic analysis had categorized seats into 4 tiers to map the party's strengths and risks ahead of GE16. According to the document, Sungai Buloh is in Tier 3, which represents a red zone requiring extraordinary intervention or special assistance from the central leadership. Meanwhile, PKR's Petaling Jaya MP Lee Chen Chung believes that the party may be in a worse position than indicated by the leaked internal analysis. He also warned that PKR could be drifting toward a near repeat of its 2004 election performance, where it was reduced to just a single parliamentary seat. Speaking on a Malaysia Kini Chinese language podcast, Lee said the current mood feels alarmingly similar to 2004. He noted that even his own constituency, a highly urbanized seat in Selangor, could no longer be regarded as safe, despite the leaked analysis categorizing it as a Tier 1 strong or safe seat. Based on both ground sentiment and recent feedback received by the party, Lee said Petaling Jaya was no longer secure for PKR. He described the constituency as home to progressive and highly urbanized voters, including many swing, centrist and pragmatic voters who expect the party to focus on national issues and policies. These voters, he said, hold high expectations and remain deeply committed to reform, making it inappropriate to classify Petaling Jaya as a safe seat under the current circumstances. Lee also observed growing disappointment among Pakatan Harapan supporters, many of whom feel the ruling coalition and PKR have begun taking their backing for granted. He stressed that PKR's core support base has traditionally come from centrist voters in urban and mixed constituencies, reflecting the party's image as a progressive, moderate, and multiracial reform movement. Losing that core support and traditional voter base, he warned, would have very frightening consequences for the party. If you like the stories we produce, consider supporting us by subscribing to Malaysia Kini. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe. A former aide to Teresa Kok is facing cheating and corruption charges. Edmund Teo Keng Yai pleaded not guilty to the charges at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court this morning. The case centers on interactive smartboard funding for schools in Seputeh. Teo was accused of cheating Kok sometime in June 2024 by claiming that there were only 2 schools with her constituency that had applied for interactive smartboard funding and related equipment, when in fact 16 schools had applied. According to the charge sheet, Kok would not have ordered him to file the application through the MACC system under the Mesra Rakyat Parlimen Seputeh project if she wasn't deceived. The charge was framed under Section 471 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum of 5 years in jail or a fine or both. Teo also faces a corruption charge. He was accused of receiving a 500,000 ringgit bribe on August 12, 2024. Teo's second charge was framed under Section 16 bracket A of the MECC Act 2009, which carries a maximum of 20 years in jail or a fine of at least 5 times the bribe amount, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher upon conviction. The accused claimed trial to the charges before Judge Susanna Hussein this morning. The judge ordered 60,000 ringgit bail. Teo's passport was also confiscated, and he must report to the MECC office every month. The government is refining the appropriate threshold between those who should receive petrol subsidies and those who can be excluded as part of the effort to implement a more targeted subsidy mechanism. This is according to Economy Minister Akmal Nasrullah Muhammad Nasir. Akmal said that one aspect under study is determining an appropriate dividing line between those who should receive subsidies and those who can be removed from the subsidy system. Bernama quoted him as saying that in the government's efforts to deliver this subsidy to the target group, they also do not want to cause a significant shock to groups that may still need support or in terms of readiness to transition fully. Akmal added that the matter had been previously discussed in the National Economic Action Council meeting following the government's readiness to improve the subsidy distribution method to be more targeted. He said in terms of the biggest challenge, it is to determine the level at which the subsidy threshold needs to occur, and it will need to be considered from various dimensions. He added that further details would be announced only after the government makes a final decision, including an appeal mechanism to ensure implementation is more transparent and more easily accepted by the target groups. On Sunday, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was reported to have said that the government is still examining the best mechanism regarding the proposal to review petrol subsidies for high-income groups. Anwar said several ministries and related committees had discussed the proposal for the past few weeks, but the government has not finalized whether it will involve the T20, T15, or other categories. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.